Okay, now I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the disaster movie genre. Roland Emmerich, the director, does a lot of those kind of movies. 2012, Day After Tomorrow, Armageddon. Movies where seemingly impossible natural disasters happen. Everyone dies, but the hero always comes out in the end and saves the day. Well, those natural disasters do actually happen in real life. Not all of them. We don't usually get meteor storms coming in, destroying New York City every day. It'd be kind of inconvenient if that was the case. But we do get things like earthquakes, hurricanes, and tsunamis. Now, you don't have to look very hard in today's society to find the effects, the long-reaching effects of tsunamis. You go back into the news archives from 2004, you will find the 9.2 earthquake that occurred off the coast of Sumatra in Indonesia, caused the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people. I think it was around 235,000. Just this year, in fact, off the coast of Honshu Island, Japan, a 9.0 earthquake caused a massive tsunami that killed 16,000 people. Despite all this very recent all these recent occurrences, they still seem kind of foreign and far off. Oh, that could never happen in Southern California. We live a fantastic life. We get the otter. We're fine. This is not true. The California Seismic Safety Commission, which is a branch of our California government that conducts research and various studies about the possibilities and the possible effects of earthquakes and the like, have said that tsunami awareness is at an abysmally low level amongst the citizens of Southern California, even those directly affected or that could possibly be directly affected by a tsunami, as in those that live along the coastline of Southern California. Because of this, I'm going to inform my fellow Southern California residents about the causes of a tsunami, first of all. An understanding of why this natural disaster happens is important. Secondly, I will discuss about the possible outcomes of a disastrously large tsunami in the Southern California region. Third, I will discuss the importance of preparedness when it comes to encountering such a tsunami as this in Southern California, and ways to prepare. First of all, one must understand why a tsunami happens. It's not just some giant wave that comes out of the ocean out of the blue, kills everyone. It has a very specific reason. This is usually an undersea earthquake, very strong one. An undersea earthquake causes the ocean floor to move around, unsettling rocks and sediment and things like that, which causes a huge displacement of water, which, of course, spans out, rolls over coasts, And earthquakes don't just happen. It's like, oh, wait, there's an earthquake? I didn't feel that. Everyone feels earthquakes. And that's the first sign that a tsunami could be coming, assuming you live on the coast, such as we do in Southern California. Now, the March 11th earthquake off the coast of Japan, in the Tohoku Prefecture, did not go unannounced. Everyone in the northern region of Japan felt it. This gave the people the time to prepare, which is something I will go over later. However, this particular earthquake, the Tohoku Prefecture earthquake, occurred on what is, in geological terms, called a subduction zone. Now, quick geology lesson: a subduction zone is what happens when two tectonic plates, which are basically what the Earth's crust is made out of, when two tectonic plates meet head-on and one goes down under the other. It's called a subduction zone. Now, the subduction zone is prone to rupture and causes massive earthquakes, the biggest earthquakes that the world ever feels. In terms of Richter scale magnitude, 9.0 or greater are the expected energy levels from these earthquakes. So these are big ones. There's a subduction zone just off the coast of Honshu, Japan. This is what caused the Sendai earthquake. There is also a subduction zone just off the coast of Southern California. It is called the Cascadia subduction zone. Now, scientists have only had the ability to, register or scientifically measure earthquakes for the past 100 years. And as far as they can tell, the most recent Cascadia zone rupture took place in 1700. This zone is prone to rupture about every 300 years, which means, in all scientific probability, a big one is coming. All the more reason to be prepared for a tsunami. Because the Cascadia subduction zone is so close to the coast of California, it could cause a massive tsunami. It could kill a lot of people. This brings me to my second point. The effects of a tsunami in Southern California. What if, and this is only hypothetical, what if a huge tsunami were to strike the Los Angeles, Orange County area? Now, assuming the Cascadia subduction zone ruptured, releasing a 9.0 magnitude or greater earthquake, you could expect a wave of water anywhere between 30 and 60 feet in height. That's pretty tall. It's going to cause a lot of damage. Now, if you bring up my first slide, please. This is a wave energy map of the 2011 earthquake off the coast of Japan. As you can see, the quake sent waves of water all across the Pacific Ocean. The waves are felt as far south as Antarctica. Waves got up to about 3 meters there, it's 9 feet. And obviously the coast of Southern California is no exception. Now, despite the fact that this earthquake, and therefore tsunami waves, originated 8,000 miles away, it still cost the state of California $50 million in damages. Destroyed small boats, the docks that they park in. Some low-lying coastal communities received some damage. And in fact, one person was killed on our coast from an earthquake, tsunami, 8,000 miles away. To be fair, the guy's an idiot. He was videotaping the tsunami from the beach, got too close, the water caught him and dragged him out to the ocean, he drowned. But still, that just shows you how far-reaching the effects can be. Now, if a tsunami occurred off the coast of Southern California, you can take this slide down now, it would be a much, much different situation. The California Seismic Safety Commission conducted a study in 2005 of all the Southern California residents that live within the what's called inundation zone off the coast of our state. Now, the inundation zone is the zone where a large tsunami would sweep over the land and completely submerge, or at least partially submerge, the households there. Over 1 million people live in the inundation zone in the LA Orange County area alone. Now, the CSSC projected that at the state of preparedness of the citizens of Southern California, about 60% of those in the inundation zone would die. 600,000 people from one tsunami in Southern California. And the damage doesn't end there. Of course, the loss of life is tragic, but monetary loss is also an issue for more people across the state of California. Infrastructure, private business, homes, all be destroyed by a massive wave of water. One specific example would be the Port of Los Angeles, which is California's artery when it comes to business. It generates billions of dollars of revenue for the state every year. Now, if the Port of Los Angeles were to be hit by a massive tsunami and closed for repairs for a period of about just 2 months, the state of California would incur $60 billion in losses. That's on top of all the infrastructure and home and residential and business damage that would occur from the tsunami. And the total cost, it's variant on how big the wave is, but it's in the hundreds of billions of dollars. The loss of life, of course, being the most tragic part, is also the most preventable part, and that brings me to my third point. Now that you are aware of the reasons a tsunami happens and things of the like, you can be prepared. Preparedness is very, very simple. A tsunami is a huge wall of water coming from the ocean. Well, you either get to high ground or you go inland. That's all you need to do. But could you do that in a moment's notice? The second a huge earthquake hits, 20, 30 seconds of shaking, can you have the presence of mind to, jump in your car or bicycle or just run in the direction you're supposed to do? If you bring up my next slide. This is an example of a tsunami evacuation map. Now, this is for the city of Venice. On the right hand of the slide, that is a sign for a tsunami evacuation route. Unfortunately, most cities don't have the funding from the government to make maps like this and put signs up like that and make them available for the general public, which is the biggest reason that it is reliant on every single person to make themselves aware. You should make a tsunami escape map from your workplace, where you live, or just the places you frequent, perhaps the